Chef Donna here, and welcome to my channel, Everyday Homemade. Everyday Homemade is designed to teach you the basics of cooking, all the while making something delicious and homemade for your family. Today, I'm going to be making a homemade chicken pot pie. But there is a little twist on it. Don't get nervous, because I'm going to be using a prepared pie crust, which makes it so much easier, and trust me, no one is ever going to know you didn't make it from scratch. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing I'm going to do is get our mise en place ready. So I have celery, I also have some carrots, I have 1 large red potato, we have 2 chicken breasts, which is 1 pound of chicken, and then I have our pre-made pie crust just warming up over here so we can unroll them easily. So let's go ahead and get something started. I think I'll start with the celery. So I'm just going to slice it in half, and then I'm going to dice it up into smaller pieces. Next, I'm going to do the carrots and get these all sliced up. The last thing I have is this potato. So I'm going to just take the ends off, and then I'm going to dice it up. Now let's get to the chicken. So I have 1 pound of chicken breast. And I just want to make sure it's kind of cleaned off and it doesn't have any cartilage or anything stuck on it. And I'm just going to dice it up into bite-sized cubes. And then we're going to fry it up in the pan. Now I want to prep the pie pan. So I have this pie plate here. I'm going to spray it with cooking spray so it doesn't stick. So just a quick spray. And I want to be able to cut the top so it's actually the size of the opening of the pie plate. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now I let these pie crusts come up to room temperature. Otherwise they have a really difficult time unrolling if they're, ice cold. Another tip about using these type of pie crusts is look to see when the expiration date was. I have found that if you get one that's really close to the expiration, it crumbles. So try to find one that's like a couple months out when you're digging through them at the grocery store. All right, so I'm just going to roll this out. And I'm going to put the pie plate on top of it, just like this. Right. So I'm going to push down, and I'm going to make indentations on the pie crust so then I can trim away the excess and I can see right where it is. So I'm just going to trim around like this. Aside the top, and I'm just going to leave it on this flexible board, and it'll be easy to transfer over to our top when we're ready. But now let's go ahead and get the bottom one rolled out and into our pie plate. I just want to kind of stretch it up the sides of the plate here and kind of form it to the dish. I want to be able to have extra top here so I can fold it over onto the top piece when we put it in. So that looks perfect. So I'm waiting for the pan to come up to heat so we can sear our chicken. But in the meantime, I wanted to point out the little picture of my dogs. My birthday was just like a week or so ago. And my girlfriend went and had my puppies put on a portrait. Isn't it the cutest thing ever? I just love it. So thanks, Jen. I really like it. First thing I need to do is add some oil. I'm just going to use a simple vegetable oil. And we're going to put the chicken right in. Now it doesn't have to cook all the way through. I'm just going to cook it part way. I'm going to go ahead and season it. And I really, like I said, I just want a little bit of color on it in order to develop some flavor in the dish. So I'm just going to let this sit for a few minutes and let it get nice and golden brown. I'm going to go ahead and kind of scrape it up. See, we get a nice color on our chicken. Like I said, this just adds flavor to your chicken pot pie. The chicken has some nice color on it, so I'm going to get it out of the pan. Like I said, it does not have to cook all the way through. We're just getting some color development on here. So I'm going to put it right into the bottom of our pre-made pie plate right here. Perfect. So I'm just going to go ahead and set that aside and let it rest. So we're going to get started on our roux. Now, a roux is made up of butter and flour, and they're equal parts. So this is 6 tablespoons of butter, and then we're going to add in 6 tablespoons of flour once it melts. Our butter is all melted, so I'm going to add the 6 tablespoons of flour, and I'm going to whisk this in. And I want it to be smooth. So we're just going to keep whisking, and then we're going to let it cook for a minute. So I'm just whisking it up, and I'm making sure that it's nice and smooth, and I wanted to let the roux just cook for a minute. If we don't do that, you'll have that flour taste in your dish. So by just cooking it for a minute or so, it'll cook out that flour taste. So I think we're pretty good here. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to add 2 cups of chicken broth, which I have right here. And we're going to whisk that all in so it's nice and smooth. I have the heat on medium, and I'm just whisking it and getting all the little bits up off the bottom of the pan. You can see them floating here in our roux mixture. Now I'm going to add in the heavy cream, and this is 1.5 cups of heavy cream, and we're going to whisk that right in until it's nice and smooth. I'm going to let this come up to a simmer, but I'm going to add our vegetables right into it now and our seasoning. So I have 1/2 teaspoon of rosemary and 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme. I'm going to put those right in there and whisk them in. It does seem like a lot of dried, because dried herbs are condensed because they're dried. So they're a lot stronger than fresh herbs are. So you would use a 2-to-1 ratio with herbs. So you'd use twice as much fresh herb as you would a dry herb. So I'm going to add the carrots and the celery. And I just kind of do this, and I want it to simmer in there for a few minutes and just start cooking it. I have our cut up potatoes, but I did put them in water because I didn't want them to turn brown. So I'm going to drain off the water, and then we're going to add the potatoes right in. And I'm just going to stir this all in, let it come up to a simmer, and then I'm going to give it a taste and make sure the seasonings are okay. So put a pinch of salt and a pinch of black pepper. Oh, we also have the peas. Can't forget the peas. I can't tell you how many times I forget the peas. I make this dish so much. I make it all the time for my clients in my personal chef business. People just love it, so I think you will too. So it's at a nice simmer right now. I'm going to go ahead and give it a quick taste and make sure I have the seasonings where I want them. Am I tasting the thyme and the rosemary? Is it nice and creamy? Spot on, perfect. Thyme comes through, the rosemary comes through. It's just delicious. Now the fun part, we're going to assemble our pot pie. Now all of this filling may not fit into your pie dish. It really just depends on how big your pie dish is. Mine is kind of deep, so most of it will fit. But don't worry about it if you can't get it all in there. So I'm just going to pour it in, and then I'm going to scrape in some of the veggies. See, so I do have some left over in there, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. You can always scoop up some of the goodies and kind of place them on top. But it's already pretty full. You know, the chicken's already in there. All right, so now I have it all here, and I am going to put the top on. Just pinching the top here, kind of going around and pinching them together, kind of sealing it. Now it is hot, so you've got to kind of move a little bit quickly. I'm going to fold it over, and then with my thumb and my finger, I'm going to make a little divot like that. Just like that, super easy. Doesn't have to be perfect, nobody is going to care. We're going to go all the way around. All right, now I just have a little bit of egg wash, like 1 beaten egg, and we're gonna brush the whole top of the pie with the egg wash. And what this is gonna do, it's gonna make it all golden brown and really pretty on top. Otherwise it wouldn't have any shine at all. And I wanna cut some slabs into the pie in order to have steam, in order to let the steam like escape from it. Then I'm gonna top it with this, I'm not sure what the official word is for this, but it's gonna protect the pie crust. A pie crust protector. And this one's a silicone one, so it can go right in the oven. But I like it because it will adjust to different size pie plates. And in my business, when I'm working, everyone has a little bit of different equipment. So I bought this one. So we're going to put this in the oven for 20 minutes with the protector on at a 350-degree oven. My timer just went off, so I'm going to remove that silicone pie crust protector that we put on. So, because I do want the sides to get a little bit golden brown. But I'm going to use a pair of tongs to do it because it gets super hot in the oven. So there it is. I'm going to put it right into the sink. And then I'm going to set the timer for another 20 minutes, and then I'm going to come back and check it. My timer just went off, so I'm ready to get that pot pie out of the oven. I can't wait to see how pretty it is. Ooh, it's hot in the oven. All right, so let's see. Oh yes, look at that. It's a beautiful golden brown. So you can see how golden brown it is and the nice shine that the egg wash gave it. Really super nice, really pretty. We did have a little bit of a boil over because I probably put too much of the filling into the pie plate. But you know, these things happen. I did have a sheet pan in the oven to catch the dripping, so that may be a thing that you want to do when you make yours at home. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of dive in and get a little piece of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and have a taste and see how it is. Let me get a piece of chicken and then, you know, maybe a little pea on there. Mm. Mm -mm -mm. It's so creamy and delicious. You can taste the herbs. You can taste the celery and the carrot. Mm. Mm -mm -mm. I absolutely love this dish, and I think you're going to too. So today I showed you how to make a chicken pot pie. And you saw how easy it was, especially since we used a pre-made pie crust from the grocery store. That just made it a breeze. And then I showed you how to make a roux, which is equal parts of fat and flour, and that you need to cook it for a minute in order to cook the flour taste out. And that's really important to know. And since Thanksgiving is right around the corner, you could use this recipe to use up some of your leftover turkey in the refrigerator. Just shred it up and put it in the bottom of the pie plate. You know, just skip the whole chicken searing part. Make your filling, add it in, pop it in the oven, and presto, you have a whole new dish. If you enjoyed the video today, go ahead and like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to never miss an episode. And until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day and you keep it homemade every day. Bye, everyone.